Hello and welcome to another Beard Clipper video. If you enjoy my videos and you're not yet a subscriber, please do click that subscribe button and don't forget to ding the bell and select all so that YouTube tells you whenever one of my videos goes live. This video is one I'm quite excited about. It is the next in my series of airbrush videos for absolute noobs like me, and I am about to use my airbrush in anger for the first time. Now this is something I'm quite excited about, so I'm not going to introduce for very long. I want to get down there and get stuck in. Basically, if you watch my other videos, you will have seen me putting this together. This is a 20mm Sarissa MDF kit of a Horsa glider, and it has been fighting me every step of the way. So not content to risk breaking anything else, and also not hoping that it isn't cursed and doesn't cause me all sorts of other problems. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prime this. I have some green primer, so I'm going to prime this model. I've got the 3 parts set here. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to get it primed, and that's what I'm going to try to achieve for my first ever use of the airbrush. I think it's a good idea to do something like this. There are other exercises that I'm going to do which I'll take you through, like for accuracy and what have you. But priming, you're just looking at putting paint down. You're not worrying too much about overspill, you're not worrying too much about accuracy, and if I do this right and do this carefully, I think that it'll probably get quite a good result. And so that's how I'm approaching this first ever airbrush experience with paint. I'm not going to do it and try to spell my name, which I will do later, and try to follow lines and draw circles and all those exercises. I'm just going to go for it and put some paint onto a model. So without any further ado, I'm going to go downstairs and get myself spraying, airbrushing, whatever it's called. Here we are then, we're at the spray booth. One thing I do want to show you is that I've also got my mask which I'm going to put on. So once I start, I won't be able to talk, so I'll probably just, I'm not sure, I might put some music on or something. I don't want it to be too boring. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be priming each of the parts on this glider. You can see here the main body of the glider, and I'm going to be using the Surface Primer Earth Green 74611. So I'll describe that as I normally do in text on the screen, so don't worry if you didn't catch that, that will remain on the screen now until I finish. And yeah, this is a specific surface primer for airbrushes apparently. So shape before use, applied directly with airbrush at 20 centimetre distance or brush on. Now I've always used this surface primer, giving it a shake, as a brush on primer, but that's fine. I've got to start somewhere, haven't I? So I've already set the airbrush and put the pressure on the tank up to 60 bar. The pressure coming out is relatively high at the moment. It's set to about 30. So what I'm going to do is actually work out how to drop that. There we are. So I'm going to drop that a little bit to about 30 psi, and then I can always drop it further. This is a primer, so the higher pressure is what you want. So hopefully I'm not making a mistake there. So I'm now going to get my airbrush. I'm a little nervous, can you tell? And just get used to the feel of it again. And I watched the superb video from Miniac, which is great, giving a description of how you hold it and how you use the airbrush. So I'm going to quickly show you what he said, which I thought was really useful and really helped me. So that is getting air out. Pulling back is when you get your paint. So the action is press down, pull back, push forwards, lift up. And in doing that, what you're doing is you're going to clear all the paint out of the nozzle, because the air is going after you finish putting the paint in, which is very important, I think. You don't want to, the cleaning is going to be stressful enough, which I'll do at the end of this. So I'm going to give this a go. I will just get myself ready, so I'll pause the camera briefly, and then when I come back, I'll have my mask on and I will be ready to start priming. This has a fan on it as well as a light, so it will be quite noisy in here when I start. So I'll be back in a very short while. stopped that then because I was seeing some bubbles appearing in the paint thing. And so what I did was I grabbed, I don't know what, I was just going to faff around for a bit, so I grabbed some of the airbrush thinner, put 1 or 2 small drops in, and then the paint flow really did start to improve, so that had seemed to have helped quite a lot. What I've done since then is just finished it off. Now, it's not the smoothest and the cleanest of airbrush jobs I've ever seen, in fact it's pretty terrible, but it is perfect for what I'm looking for, because I'm doing this, as I keep saying, in my other videos, as a crashed plane, and well, obviously it's a glider. You don't land a glider, you crash it either successfully or not successfully, and that's going to be perfect for me to build up from with more airbrush colours, because it will be slightly camouflaged, I think. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to airbrush the other parts, so the tailplane and the wing. So I'll get that done in the same way, and I'll point the camera down and capture as much of that as I can, and maybe even try to show putting the airbrush thinner into the paint so that it works a little bit better. But yeah, that was a bit weird, the action a little bit weird, but still I'm happy with what I've done. It didn't explode in my face, and yeah, onwards. I'll run the camera again, and then we'll come to cleaning and packing up, and then that'll be this video done. And quite a relieved beard looking at you right now. I've done my first ever paintbrush, airbrushing. Right, that didn't go too badly. I'm quite pleased with how that's come out. Now for the bit that is actually the scary bit, which is the cleaning. So let's see whether I can do this. What I've got here is this cleaning glass thing, which I think I'm going to use correctly. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drip just a little bit of airbrush cleaner into the bowl and spray it through. Now, I do know, not very much, I do know you need to be careful of this stuff because it is very, very aggressive. So let's spray that through. Why isn't is my quick release not in properly? That's why, there we are. Tell you what, my quick release wasn't in properly. So, the idea there, that you clean through all of the gunk that's going to be in the tubes. What I now have is some cotton buds. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do this so you can see it. It's probably not the best of ideas for my first ever cleaning experience, but we're just going to clean out the inside of this bowl. Look at all that gunk on the end of that. If I can get that in shot, there we are, all that gunk. So we're going to clean out the inside of the bowl. And this I could actually just sit, because I can take this out and I could actually sit that inside the cleaning fluid and give it a good clean that way as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to drip some more cleaning fluid on the other end of this, or pick it up from where it's spilt, and give it a good clean with the earbud. This really is the bit that scares me to get it right. Okay. And then I have some kitchen roll, which I can then use to polish it off. There we are. I actually noticed that I have actually put fingerprints on the side, so I'm going to put some airbrush cleaner on my kitchen roll and wipe that off as well, because I want to keep this nice. There we are. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the air and start to take the airbrush apart. So I might zoom out a bit actually for this. It's a bit close in there. There we are. So we'll do that. Nice quick air release. And what I'll do is we'll take this all apart and set it out like we did in the previous video. And that's why I did the previous video, so that now I'm not looking at this going, I'm going to break everything, because I've seen it. So we undo that one, and then we pull that out very carefully, and then we take the front off carefully. There we are, and there we have it. We have the actual needle. So the needle is clean to the site. However, what we do know is that that's not necessarily the truth. So let me demonstrate just how dirty that probably already is, even with the small amount of airbrushing we've just done. So we'll get a clean kitchen towel, get a little bit of the cleaner fluid on, and then we will take this little nib here and just quickly do that. And you can see there is actually paint coming off that. There we are. Now I don't want to get the gaskets and the rubber, because the gaskets and the rubber can actually disintegrate with the cleaner fluid, which is quite a strong, actually get a clean one, quite a strong solvent. Now again, I'm not going to claim any of this for myself. Miniac suggests you get some, look at that, you get some ammonia-free window cleaner, and so I'm going to be picking some of that up at some point very soon. I completely forgot at the weekend. I'll probably be heading to town tomorrow, And that apparently is very good for the running through step. It's not such a good idea to do that with proper cleaner apparently. However, I don't have any alternative, so I had to do that. And I think the last thing I'm going to do now is a little bit more cleaner on my brush, kitchen towel, and then clean the actual airbrush needle. As you can see, look at all that's coming off of that. So just very gently pull it through. Okay, so I think that's clean. What we're now going to do is put it back together, if we can remember how. So, and this is also the fear, isn't it? So that goes inside there, very gently. Okay, and then screws on the front. There we are. Then the actual needle, pull it to the edge. There we are, the actual needle goes in through there. And one tip that he also gave was to, again, I'll just go shot because it's going to be easier for me rather than having to put the needle down, but put some more cleaner on it, and then just carefully, when you push it in, very carefully, just like push it in and pull it out, and then clean it again, because if there's anything that comes a backwash, which bloody Nora there was, look at that. Right, I might need to do that a few times. Yeah, let's do that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some more cleaner on the cloth. I'm going to put it onto the needle, like so. And I'm going to put it in there. Very gently, push it right the way in, pull it out again, in and pull it out again. I'm getting a lot of paint in there, far more than I expected to. This could be the time for me to do some research. So if I take that off, I think this should lift out. I need to undo that. Okay. I'm going to get another of these buds and I'm going to bob it in that little top bit. Stick it in there, wiggle it around. Oh, yeah, filthy. Let's get another one. I need to buy some more earbuds. There, that's coming up cleaner now. Right, so that was the step I'd missed. I was cleaning actually inside that end bit there, where the paint actually goes in. Clean there as well. Right, so now to try and remember how this goes back together. So that goes in there. This is, of course, the biggest fear of all. Oh yes, I see. That drops in over it, like so. Just the lightest of turns. And then if we look inside, well, you can't actually see because of the light. Go and have a look at other videos for that than mine. I'm not going to be able to show you with the light in here, it's not that great. But you wanted to drop it right in. I might have to stand up straight and come out of shot briefly in a minute because my back is breaking. So I'm going to get this fixed. I'll be back shortly to tell you what I did. Okay, so I got that in via a little bit of luck and just a lot of kind of like patience. and that just does demonstrate that fear that we all have, that what we don't want to do is we just don't want to break it. And that felt very much like I'd broken it then, so I got a little nervous. But all I had to do was I had to get the little box back inside the little kind of return area there, and that went fine. So what we're now going to do is we're going to check out our cleanliness again. We're going to do the same things we did before. So a little bit of cleaner. We're going to put the cleaner onto the needle, like so. And we're going to push the needle very carefully through. Everything lines up. Pull it out. It's still pretty dirty in there. Still pretty dirty. So we'll keep doing that until the needle comes out clean. So I will carry on and I'll tell you how many times I do it. There's no point in you watching me doing the same thing over and over again, and I'll be back very shortly. So we got there. I've got it completely clean now, and it was quite a simple thing. If you remember, I started off by spraying into this little cleaning thing, and I just didn't do that enough. So what I've done is I've put some more of the cleaner into the pot and sprayed that right the way through, and I've worked out what this cleaner does now as well. You'll see on a lot of videos people holding like a cloth over the end of the airbrush and getting it to bubble back. That is what this does. It does a good clean. It forces the cleaner to really scare out on the inside, and so now I'm left with a nice clean airbrush with no residue at all when I'm pulling the needle out, which is what I want to see. And I've put it back together and it still works. I've proven that because I've just had to use the airbrush to actually push the cleaner through. So that is all in a success. So I'm going to pack up here, having calmed down a bit because that was quite stressful at times. I thought I'd broken it, I thought I wasn't cleaning it right, but there we are. First off, hopefully the experience of watching me make mistakes has helped and encouraged you to go and give it a go as well. I will close off this video to camera as well, so that's me. And there you are. You have been witness to my first ever use of an airbrush and my first ever cleaning of an airbrush. And hopefully the stress came through a little bit, but also the fact that I did manage it. It was possible, and I was quite nervous, particularly when I paused the camera then when I couldn't get the trigger back in, and all I did there was I just sat down. I actually put the airbrush inside the paint booth where there was really good light, because down here at the moment there's only one bulb in the whole room, which isn't very good, and then I was able to see what I was doing and it slotted in quite nicely and easily. And that's just one of those things. When you're doing new things, you don't always get it right first time, and you just got to stay calm, and then you're normally okay. And if I can do it, trust me, anyone can, because I'm not a special hobbyer. I just do what I do, and I'm really pleased to have given it a go. And I tell you, I've been building up to this for a long time, years even. I've wanted an airbrush and put it off even buying one, let alone the fact that I've owned this for 7 months before I even turned it on. So, great stuff. I hope this video has helped you and inspired you. Comments below, please. I'd love to hear from you. The reaction that this series has had so far has been brilliant, and the fact that there are so many out there who seem to be finding it useful to see my fumbles and mistakes and what have you. And hopefully this would inspire you to give it a go, and then you can tell me about it in the comments below. Next time around, I think I'm going to try to do some exercises. That's one of my plans. It's because control, as you saw, is not easy. The good thing about this particular project I chose, the reason I chose it is it didn't need to be controlled, and but I do need to get some practice. So I'll show you some of the exercises I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be focusing on those for a little while before I try to do anything too clever or too advanced. But yeah, brilliant. I'm really pleased to have given it a go, and it's really wonderful to have had you along to watch and hopefully to inspire. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ding that bell and select all, so that whenever one of my videos goes live, YouTube tells you about it. And last but very much not least, thank you so much for watching this video, and please stay healthy, stay safe and stay well.